In this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can allow other people to be your mirror. I like to call it mirror work. Mirror work is when you allow other people to be your mirror, and when you look at other people, you allow yourself to see yourself through the perspective of someone else. In the Bible, we are told not to judge other people unless we do the work on ourselves first. Jesus says this in Matthew 6, verses 1 through 6, or Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 6. Stop sinning against your brothers and sisters. When you judge others, you are judging yourself. It's best to remove the plank from your own eye before you take the toothpick out of your brother's eye, lest you too be judged. By doing mirror work, you can practice removing the plank from your own eye before you take the toothpick out of your brother's eye. So when you see someone else and you find yourself judging them, instead ask yourself, where in my life am I doing this to myself or others? When you identify what it is, the next step is to repent of the sin and to ask for forgiveness. By doing mirror work, the way you see other people will change because the mirror will change. So I just wanted to walk you through a couple of health-related examples. Maybe you find yourself looking at someone and you're like, gosh, did she gain 20 pounds? Like, she looks terrible in that piece of clothing. The next step is to stop yourself and be like, am I judging that person or am I judging myself? Ask yourself, where in my life am I judging myself for looking bad in clothes or gaining weight? Or where am I judging others? So if you find yourself, a lot of times it's about you. We like to judge other people for the things that we do ourselves. It's much easier to condemn and judge someone else than it is to self-condemn. So instead of judging someone else for gaining weight or looking bad in clothing, it's more important to see that you do it to yourself and you're just being self-critical and projecting that out onto someone else. And then you can repent of the sin and ask for forgiveness. And when you do this work, the way you see other people will change because the way you see yourself will change. Maybe you don't want to judge yourself for gaining 20 pounds and not looking good in clothes. Maybe you feel guilty and ashamed, and that's where this root of this is coming from. So it might be helpful to do the work of like talking to the Father about your body appearance and who he says you are and where your value lies. Because while it can be helpful to lose weight because it's just healthy and you're trying to do it from a healthy perspective, if we have an identity, if we place value or identity in the way we look and then we're judging other people in the way that we're judging ourselves, that can get a little dicey. So it's helpful to do the work yourself because then the way you treat other people will change. Maybe you look at the person with more compassion and love because you struggle in the same area that she does. And now you can be more loving and less judgmental. So I think mirror work is a really impactful way to work on yourself before you judge others. As believers, it is important to have discernment. And if you find that someone is in sin, maybe you notice that someone struggles with binge eating food. You can ask yourself, where in my life am I doing this to myself or others? Well, maybe you don't binge eat food, but you binge watch TV. Repent of binge watching TV and ask for forgiveness. And then as you do the work and you've worked through this yourself, then if you're really concerned and you want to talk to someone about how you're concerned about their eating behaviors, you've done the work. Even though the pattern was similar, it might not always be identical. So give yourself some creativity to be like, I'm really judging people. I find a pattern of myself judging people for different things. Where in my life am I doing this? Oh, I'm not doing it when it relates to food or health, but I'm doing it when it relates to work. So be creative when you do mirror work, and I'd be very curious to hear what you've learned from the mirrors in your life and how the mirror changed when you did the work. So you can go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know.